So I finally rested after 17 hours. Alright, I definitely have to be careful to not binge that long. And I don't have the opportunity until Saturday or Friday. I was completely falling apart at the end of that. I gotta not ever do that. You know, good breaks, consistent schedule. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. I may or may not try to stream tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. Really depends. The funny thing is I've got like stuff to do. Like I never installed that. I have a 3080 Ti just sitting in my living room that I haven't installed yet. I gotta find an open moment to do that. I have no idea how to get in here. It really looks like you can go in. And in fact, I have a quest to kill this dude anyways, so maybe I'll just do that. But yeah, I'm sitting on... the reason why the 3080 Ti is not trivial to install is because I need to replace the power supply as well. And it's just extra busy work with cables. Especially trying to get them organized, because they're a mess. Oh, a couple things I want to check. Somewhere along the road to Gold Mask most likely is going to be the dude whose name I forgot. I'm gonna start in the Bridge of Inquiry, maybe? And go backward, or forwards, I guess? I don't know what direction this counts is. Actually, you know what? I have an idea of where he might be. I want to check for that priest dude. Hey, Wing. I don't remember what his name was, and I don't know how many do I have? 20,000. I don't know if he has anything I care about. Where are we in the map even? So I mean Dark Souls 2 the other day? Well, if you've been watching my Twitter, you saw me making posts about the differences in power armor, or not power armor, power stance. Freaking brain. Power stance between Elden Ring and Dark Souls 2. So basically they're pulling a cart here? Really? Hold on a sec. I need to look at this. Whoops. Okay, I'm getting everything totally mixed up right now. Oh jeez. You got a whole entourage too. In Elden Ring, it's closer to paired weapons. It's like automated paired weapons. They have to be identical weapons, like the exact same type. So it can be like, I don't even know if S-stocks are in this game or not, but you know, rapier S-stock, or you know, two thrusting swords, or long sword, short sword. You know, what is with this? Oh, okay. What to say? What is with this pumpkin head? In Dark Souls 2, I swear I saw one being sold. I could swear. I don't know where though. So I'm pretty sure. I was pretty sure S-stocks were in the game. I lost track of the cart. But in Dark Souls 2, you can do things like have a right hand rapier, left hand longsword, and where did this go? Did they disappear, or have I been fighting this long? Maybe they went the other way. Probably should be writing these things down or taking some sort of note. Oh man, there's a site of grace here too. Well, if I don't rest at it, I'll be fine. In Dark Souls 2, not only can you do, for example, right-hand rapier, left-hand longsword, and use the longsword power stance, which means you get the wide swipes, and I believe the damage is higher too. I think it's like done. It's done. Well, the motion values are usually the same. I think the damage is higher, or it's easier to hit, or whatever. I think it's something like 1.1 and 1.2 are the motion values most of the time. Hey, Rain, what's my overall take? Quite excellent. I would say it's definitely the best Souls game that's been put out by far. And I would say also it's the best open world game I've played. So, it's funny too, thinking about it. Like, normally I don't really pick, like, favorites of things. But just the quality is so far above everything else, it's like there's no real comparison anymore. I overall like tons of the stuff that they've done for, like, quality of life and, you know, like, you know, the balance tuning is amazing. So for the most part, like, relative to any other Souls game, it's not perfect. It has there's still a lot of room to clean it up. But if you dug deep into the other games, this is a sea change. To the other side? I always do this. Yeah, like, they can... Oh, you ran right into it. Yeah, full caster is viable. The spells are overall very good. There's fewer spells that are just completely shit. Oh, I already got it. When did I, like... I must have cruised through this last time. I just not even thought about it. Before I forget, I wanted to point out the rapier thing. So, in Elden Ring, you can right-hand poke and right-hand parry, which means that you can right-hand parry into right-hand riposte. And that means if you have a weapon with good crit, like this is 140, or, you know, this is 130 if I really need, you have, your left hand's free for whatever, right? So you can just as easily left hand for another weapon, or in my or crossbow, or in my case, it's a casting tool, right? So, like, if I'm casting, especially in PvP, and somebody gets close, I can very easily parry as they might roll and then roll attack and then attempts to hit me through my spell cast, but it doesn't really matter because I'm just still gonna just fucking rock whoever it is. And I get the big crit because it's on the right hand, rather than having to do, like, a weapon swap to a dagger or whatever. In Dark Souls 2, rapier, left hand, right hand always does the same moveset, so it's basically R1, R2. So power stancing with another weapon gives you, you know, your longsword swipes. So I do miss that from power stancing, and I the other post that I made on Twitter, you cannot do left hand running attacks, jump attacks. All that's gone. So some of the stuff I wanted to do that would have been, like, more convenient would have been basically right hand parry, right hands. I want the left hand, or what am I trying to say? I want the... I really want to have it to where the... most likely the right hand is my parrying weapon, but I want the full moveset, including running and rolling attacks, so you can't do any of that. You don't have the flexibility you would have wanted that Dark Souls 2 offers. On top of the fact that Dark Souls 2 allows weird shit like Butcher Knife power stancing into the Ultra Great Greatsword, the Guts Greatsword. And the unique thing about the butcher knife, which is unique to any other weapon, any other power stance, is that you can either of the R1s, so normally, like, so Elden Ring has like a 5-hit, or you multi-hit, and then it stops. But all the other games have basically like one or the other, and you just repeat. You can get your power stance L1 off of either of those hits, and it's a true combo. And you can't with any other power stance situation. I think it's always the first one. This is my first playthrough, or just making a PvP build. This is my first playthrough still. And I'm like, does it even show? This is in the save screen. I passed... You know what? Actually, I've just gotten to about 80 hours on this character. And I don't know if I'm 2/3 of the way through the game. I know based on the trailer material and a couple other things. There's just a couple small things I've been spoiled on. There's at least a few big areas I haven't been to yet. Like I know I haven't been up here. And this seems to be like real space. Sorry about the banging. My neighbors are idiots. I think they're just wearing clogs, or they're manufacturing shit. I don't know. I do feel kind of like somebody's like running a wood shop above my apartment. I think a normal playthrough, if you're pretty thorough, if it's your first playthrough, I thought that was the dude I was looking for. I think you're a normal, thorough, not almost, not quite 100%, but most of the game playthrough is probably going to be 80 to 120 hours for a game like this. And considering that there's so much interesting content, that's ridiculous. It's overwhelming. It's more than I would get. Like, I remember my first Dark Souls 1 playthrough was like 80-ish. But I wasn't doing very well. I was like bumping my head against the ceiling with stuff like ONS and stuff. Four Kings, like just frustrating boss fights that felt more like attempting to get good RNG than attempting to master the fights. But this game is like you have constant, satisfying progress. And there's still that much content, which is just ridiculous. Okay, I'm not sure the dude's here. I'm gonna loop back around here, because I do want to... I think there's something here. Everything that's like distinctly marked on the map is certainly a thing, so I want to take a look. I'm looking for that prayer dude. He's got to be around here somewhere, and usually all the NPCs are on roads and shit. He was looking for Gold Mask, but he wasn't at the Gold Mask location. So, he's got to be around just on a road somewhere. It's so unlikely, especially for like the fact that NPCs act pretty logically. You generally, if you know anything about them, on the way to the Broken Bridge, so he would be... I don't want to get shot. He, well, he would be up here then, if I didn't do that, if I haven't, well, let's just mark it, I don't know where we are. On the other side. Well, I mean, the road to the Broken Bridge is... would be like right here. Unless you mean he's like... I don't even know. With a merchant, really? Just to satisfy my curiosity, I am gonna wander up this way. So I go up. Straight shot. But yeah, Rain, I probably didn't, I wasn't super clear. The game has been just, like, ridiculously good. Lots of interesting bosses, the lore is great. It's not as, like, obtuse as Dark Souls tends to be, while still giving you stuff that's like, holy shit, how did I not notice that? Or I couldn't believe, you know, that's, like, I didn't, you know, and you have the proper, like, shock and awe of the cool stuff in the story without necessarily being stuck of, like, oh, well, like, this requires, like, this is, like, deep inference and, you know, like, stuff that you can put together, but it's very well structured. Like, some of the stuff is just, like, flat out told to you, and you don't even know what it means until you look back at it and go, oh, when this person mentioned that they were Craven, yeah, definitely not here. When this person mentioned that they were Craven, that was a distinct detail. That wasn't just some bullshit flavor text. Where is the bird? You mean, like... Oh, I guess I gotta go... I guess I have to go around here. Oh, and then you would jump down, I guess, is what I was doing before. Or it's... No, no, it's over here. It's over here. I remember now. You jump down, like, once or twice, and this, like, is the initial entry into the area, I think. I think. That's interesting. The two-hand input requiring an R1 will make you chain your R1s together. Back down the road I came from? What? Oh, and then backwards. I guess it would make sense he wouldn't necessarily run straight down. Oh, I should probably, just to be sure. Was there any interesting lore on the Scorpion Shield? No. Yeah, these are just generic weapons or items. The reason why I was curious is because one of the materials, these things, these centipedes, kept as a fetish by Golden Order fundamentalists, especially the hunters of those who live in death. As such, they're found near churches and similar. I could swear there was some sort of connection to a curse mark, which I may or may not still have on me. Yeah. It was called something. Yeah, the half-wheel wound of the centipede. And then you see these golden centipedes. And I think there's a connection there. And I'm curious if there's going to be a golden centipede death mark and a dark centipede creature item. Or curse mark, not death mark. I thought you were... You're not who I'm looking for. Shoo. I think the only thing I think probably the thing about the game that is a bit concerning is that the size is distressing for PvP. It makes me wonder how making a PvP build is going to go. Especially if you want to get all of, like, the memory stones or all of the... Okay, for a second I thought I was looking at this cross-eyed going, is this Yura? But no, it's not.
Ah, look who we have here. How delightful to meet a familiar face, even after departing the Round Table Hold. I've been doing some learning of my own since then, actually, and will happily pass it along to you.
Have you? I've also got, like, 1 billion books for you. Let me see what you got first. Black Flame Blade. So these were before. Electrify is probably new. Resistance is just... Wow, you get resistance to just everything. Including magic, which is hilarious, because if I cast that... oh, they're such low faith costs, too. if I get additional magic reduction, like I already have 183 flat defense, and I'm imagining this is boost my absorption to maybe like 50%, which would be absurd. 50, really? 15 for great heal? Are you kidding me? I'm gonna buy that just because I want to put that. I want to buy everything here. Didn't realize I had money. The Night of the Black Knives thing. There's, so I want to know what happened where apparently, and this is lore stuff. This is spoiler stuff. But so supposedly they went and killed Godwin. However, apparently he only died in body, or no, he only died in soul, and Ronnie only died in body at the exact same time. And so the Black Knives apparently, the Black Knives had killed Godwin, but Ronnie apparently shed her flesh, like she shed her body. And what and because it was the Night of the Black Knives, I feel like this is orchestrated. Yeah, they killed him, stole... Oh, no. They stole the Mark of Death to kill him. Because that was the only way... Like, and only a fragment of it, apparently. In order to kill him. To allow for that possibility in the first place. As far as I understand, and this hasn't been super clarified yet, they broke something relating to death. Like, this whole event fucked up something regarding the death. And I think it's possibly just that death is incomplete now. And just does not work as a result. Like, maybe it's like a circuit and it's just broken now, even though most of it still remains. But on top of that, the curse mark, which supposedly would have been whole, is now... Hold on, let me buy some stuff. The curse mark, which is whole... I don't know what this is actually going to do, but I'm going to buy it. That curse mark is now incomplete, and... Ronnie has half of it.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
And I guess Godwin has the other, which I have not seen at all. I thought, I guess the spirit of Godwin, or the memory of Godwin, at some point. I'll go through all that. Give me a sec. I'm finishing the whole thought here. Wing, you gotta please not jump so far ahead. You've been doing this like over and over again. Let me finish the thought first. So, the curse mark says that it was carved into the discarded flesh of Ronnie the Witch, was carved at the moment of death of the first demigod, and should have taken the shape of a circle. So, what I wonder is, did Ronnie try to get the whole curse mark by orchestrating her death at a particular, under some circumstance that, and what I don't necessarily understand is I thought Ronnie had I thought Ronnie had some sort of influence on the what are they called, the Black Knives, but now I'm not so sure, because I think maybe the Black Knives had to kill Godwin in order to make sure that Ronnie didn't get the full curse mark. Now, I also don't know what the curse mark does, so I don't yet know the significance of it. I've done everything up to getting the ring and putting the ring on, and that's about it so far. But yeah, the story is like actually coherent. Has lots of great interconnections, doesn't feel like a lot of random pieces floating in space, with like a central plot arc that sort of is kind of connected, but not really, and somewhat coherent, but not quite really. Like, in the Souls games, it doesn't feel... It feels like it was pieced together. In this, it feels like it was whole and given to you in pieces. Have I gone back to it? I have not since. I don't remember. Actually, I'll go back there in a second. I don't remember.
Incantations, is it? I can happily spare the time and applaud your enthusiasm.
Let me get all these out of the way.
This is a volume of incantation. It's good to see your enthusiasm. Indeed, I will happily take it off your hands. That is a work of heresy. Its incantations bear no lineage from the Erd Tree. Very well. I'll take it off your hands.
Yeah, Wing. Apparently, a lot of people are like many people, including myself, are aware of that, and so it's no surprise. But apparently, George R. R. Martin had written basically some sort of short story that people are hoping will be included in the Design Works books, and apparently they've basically been attaching onto that. Like, FromSoft has basically been building on some short story that's been written, which is the history of the world before the events that are now. So I don't even know if there's... What I don't understand, what I don't necessarily know is, like, is Godwin and some of the characters that don't necessarily seem... Like, they seem to be on the edge of the existent history in the game. Like, they sort of semi-exist, but they're not central figures. Like, are they part of what George R. R. Martin wrote, or did he write something else that is sort of like the influence and maybe like bits and pieces of the history of the world, like maybe just that the Erd Tree exists and stuff? Where is it? It's way in back there. But like I want to know, like it's not like, here's the thing, like I'm not looking at it from like, all right, which part is FromSoft that I need to cherish, like which is Miyazaki lore and which is George R. R. Martin lore. Like I don't give a shit about that. But I'm curious, I would love to read it in its entirety just to see the structure of it and how it was written. And then I would be curious to see, just from a like game development standpoint, of like how literally did it translate into the lore of the game, and how much of that do we even see in the game, and how much of it is just, you know, something to work with, you know, how much of it is like, you know, the seed crystals for what we actually have in the game. Radagon. Wait, okay, so here's the thing. Radagon is the husband of Renala, and so I guess in that case, Radagon has... Oh, he's both. He's 1-to-1, 31-31, but it's an incantation. Usually, like in let's say, for example, in like Dark Souls 1, there's sort of a distinct separation. Even Demon Souls is big on this too, where, well, Demon Souls has a whole extra thing to it. They usually have a like upfront massive separation between like miracles and faith and the soul arts, especially like so in Dark Souls, it basically is like the sun versus the moon, you know, light versus night kind of stuff. Yeah, I'll read that in a second. Give me a minute. The Demon Souls has a massive separation between the soul arts, which is seen as like demonic and heretical, and then like all the miracles and faith stuff, which is supposed to have come, you know, it's the power of God stuff, right? And then you get the Talisman of Beasts, and it's like, nah, this is all the same thing. This is all coming from the old one. And I wonder what connection and separation there is between incantations and sorceries in Elden Ring, because it seems like there's bits and pieces that are mostly separate, but nobody really seems to hate you for being a sorcerer, and people don't necessarily, like, there's not a strong divide between people who use magic and sorceries and stuff, people who use incantations and light and lightning, and you know, it just seems to be like almost a functional separation more than anything else. And then you see, oh, incantations are mostly pyromancy, and then you see fire sorceries, and fire sorceries are more primal sorceries, and I don't even know what this is all about, lore-wise. And it's just interesting to see stuff like that. But I bet it's explained pretty well. One of the incantations of the Golden Order Fundamentalists, a gift of gratitude to the young Miquella from his father. Okay, so Miquella is apparently the brother to Millennia. Yeah. I believe. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a shit. I'm actually reading this. A gift of gratitude to the young Miquella from his father, Radagon, a.k.a. Are they all related? Is the Elden Ring just a ring of, like, children? So Miquella, Millennia, Radon, and Ranella are all just, like, siblings, apparently. Produces a golden ring of light and fires it across a wide area. Oh, is this sort of like, the pose makes me think this is like a golden version of Emit Force. And yet, the young Miquella abandoned fundamentalism, for it could do nothing to treat Millennia's accursed rot. This was the beginning of unalloyed gold. I wonder if unalloyed gold is all basically supposed to be holy power not tied to the tree, maybe? Incantation of... Well, it's law of regression. Incantation of Golden Order Fundamentalists. What are the key fundamentals? Heals all negative statuses, dispels sadness effects, and reveals mimicry in all its forms. Oh shit. Fundamentalists describe the Golden Order through the powers of regression and causality. Regression is the pole of meaning that all things yearn eternally to converge. Pretty expensive, but if you need a catch-all to do everything in one... Yeah, I guess it would be one slot. Lightning Sphere. One of the incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult. Summons a lightning sphere and hurls it before the caster. Charging causes a lightning bolt to strike the point of impact. Cool. Long ago, Godwin the Golden defeated the ancient dragon Fortisax and befriended his fallen foe. Huh? I guess not necessarily killed, then. An event that gave rise to the ancient dragon cult in the capital. Does anybody remember what the name of the dragon that I fought? There was a lightning dragon that I fought in... It fled. It was like on the way up into Atlas Plateau. It was like...
May the Golden Order shine through you.
It was... Can I get the map? Maybe here-ish, perhaps? It was some area with a bunch of, like... It was, like, after the area with a bunch of, like a mountain of carts that had all been tipped over and stuff. It's not him? Okay. Hold on a sec. What was the one? What was the name of the one I just... Fortisax. Okay, different name. What are the incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult? Summon the bolt of lightning to strike foes from above. Oh, is this is basically Thunderbolt as a skill, or as a spell. Long ago, Godwin the Gold defeated Fortisax again. Okay. They're getting everything from Fortisax. It's lightning imbued. Incantation originating from a sinister prophecy. Momentarily sparks flame from the caster's hand. This incantation can be cast without delay. So this is the one from the network test. It's combustion, basically. Flame of Rune is anathema. I've never pronounced this ever. I feel like I've heard it pronounced once. To the Ur Tree. But prophets sometimes glimpse it within the faith all the same. Sadly, when this occurs, their sole reward is banishment. Oops. Oh shit, it's cheap as shit to use. Okay. I never thought it would be 8. I'm apparently going to be... I think I'm trying to get the Flame of Rune. I believe. I gotta get some sort of fire. I need some sort of kindling. I was talking to Millennia about it earlier. O-Flame is... Oh, okay. So this is great combustion and this is regular combustion. I see. Giant's flame still smolders upon the distant northern mountaintop, and the fire monks are its guardians. I think I need to get this one. Or a flame, I don't know. Okay, this is fireball. Some sort of fireball. This one say charging? Oh, this one is chargeable. This one is not. But this one could be changed. Flame of Rune. Yeah, I got that. Giant's Flame is the Flame of Rune. Okay, so that's confirmed. Capable of burning the Earth Tree. And so, following the war against the Giants, its ruinous blaze was sealed, and Guardians were appointed to watch over it. Okay, so I'm gonna need to fight some big old bosses here. Yeah, all the combustion spells are usually great for PvP. Black Flame, Incantation of the Godskin Apostles. I've dodged this many times. The strange thing about this is that I seem to have good resistance to it, so I think it does part magic or something. I have... Yeah, I really don't have much holy or lightning resistance. I have a little bit. Like, more than like, physical. Well, not even that, I guess. Yeah, my lightning is just a little bit low. The Black Flame is weighty. After dealing damage, it continues to sap foes' HP. Yeah, okay. Is there any lore stuff? The assassins were charged with eliminating Tarnished, who had strayed from guidance. I guess that's why I'm being... Well, actually, you know, I don't even know. Incantation of the Two-Finger Servants, who once served as the assassins of the Round Table Hold. Completely silences the footsteps of the caster, yeah. So the strange thing about this particular spell... 10 Faith. Oh, I can cast this, yeah. The strange thing about this spell is... They mentioned... I don't know if these are the Knight of the Black Knives characters. I don't think they're the Black Knives characters. I think I think whoever, whatever the spell is referencing, is whoever tried to kill me in Round Table Hold a bit earlier. So they've apparently made the decision that I've been straying from grace. The assassins were themselves once tarnished who had strayed from guidance, and they pursued their duty in the darkness that is without grace. So yeah. Follow the path that's been set for you, and you'll make enemies of all others, the monks, sorcerers, ancient dragon knights, and the signs of gold. This sounds like this is supposed to be text from either the Two Fingers or the Greater Will. Basically, everybody knows you're up to bullshit. You're up to no good, and they're calling you out on your bullshit. Two Fingers had high hopes for the Tarnished, that even if they should be wounded, even if they should fall, they will continue to fight for their duty. So here's a strange thing, then. I wonder if the Two Fingers instituted the idea of the Tarnished in the first place. I want to know, don't tell me, of course, but I want to try to figure out what caused everybody to get banished and only basically be returning, like, now. Like, it's almost like you got banished for doing something bad, and then everyone decided, fuck it, shit's so bad, we gotta bring all these champions back. Like, for example, like the astrologers. Do you see another astrologer in the game? And the answer is kind of not really. like technically, Azure and the other primeval sorcerers technically might count, but they're not explicitly described as such. So it feels like your character has been long dead since before the return of sorcery or the development of glintstone sorceries. Because it seems like Azure and the others were the originators of glintstone sorcery and whatever primeval current existed. But it seems like you might have existed beforehand. And I wonder how, like, what is... I almost kind of feel like some of these, the base character classes, Prophet, Astrologer, Prisoner, all these other characters, I feel like they originate from the original story that George R. R. Martin had written. And I wonder if those factions had just been flat out described as such in whatever that story was.
Do you sport with me? From your description, it can be no other than the Gold Mask himself. Of course, I knew he would be close by. Bless the Golden Order and its benevolent rays. And to you too, my sincerest thanks. May the Golden Order shine through you.
Elden Ring. Bloodborne wise, I didn't enjoy the story. I never dug super deep into it, but I think what they presented was so scattershot and so ambiguous that I feel like it was story in terms of flavor without substance. You know, it was a bottle of spices. It was maybe a spice blend, but it wasn't something. It wasn't a meal. You know, I feel like it was one of those things where it's like super stereotypical techno, where you can understand that it's music without lyrics, but it sticks to a beat and uses that as like one flavor without nuance and without a journey. I feel like good, even instrumental music tend to have lyrics through the structure of the song rather than through actual spoken word. Hope that makes some sense. Don't know if I've ever been in this one. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Like, there definitely is some story in Bloodborne, but it's just made to be takes the other side. Does it? That would be convenient. And I definitely think the DLC for Bloodborne probably seems to have like tied up a lot of loose ends and explained a lot of stuff. Yeah, right here. But I didn't like Bloodborne enough to dig into it. I didn't like it for two major reasons. One primary one, I think, and might have gotten in the way of everything, is that the frame rate is so freaking bad. It's just so horrendously terrible. But the gameplay for Bloodborne is just so, like, frustratingly unrefined, and a lot of, like, it has key pain points that are just never resolved. And I think I might have appreciated it more at, like, a solid 60 FPS. But damn, my experience with it was so incredibly rough. I barely finished the first playthrough. I think I did a couple others just for PvP builds. Loathed it the entire way through. And the PvP was so rough because it was dependent, like, not only were things just not very well tuned, but a lot of your potency as a PvP build was gated by Chalice Dungeons, and Chalice Dungeons are absolutely terrible.
Ah, we meet yet again. Thanks to you, I have become acquainted with the noble Gold Mask himself, and taken my place by his side, as you can see. Have no fear. I will still teach you incantations as before, though we must do so quietly, such that we not disturb the great master's cogitation.
Cogitation? No new incantations. And I bought most of them. I'm probably going to come back for the rest later, even though I don't really use these. I'm intending at some point to put more points into Faith, but, like, it's going to come down to, like, what's valuable to have, and it's, like, Law of Regression, maybe. Rejection, I'd only really use in PvP. Great Heal, I'm intending to probably end up using. I could swear there was something for, an area regen incantation that was, like, 45 Faith. And I wanted to use that for my summons.
The Master is always deep in contemplation, while I frantically attempt to record his wisdom, the movement of his finger. And though I am yet to comprehend even the daintiest morsel of his wisdom, I know that this is my life's calling. The Golden Order has bestowed me, talentless as I am, the great duty of documentarian. May the Golden Order shine through you.
Well, hope you don't catch Scarlet Rot, because there's no fixing that with Golden Order sorceries. But yeah, I loathe the fact that the Chalice Dungeons, the generation was so boring. And so many bosses were, like, reused in uninteresting ways, which, luckily, my worry going into Elden Ring was, like, oh, all the catacombs are all going to be the same, they're going to be potentially randomly generated, all that kind of stuff. But no, they're well curated and have, even the bosses that repeat, are repeated in interesting ways. So I'm super relieved. I think random generation can be done well, but I don't know if... I don't trust a developer that hasn't been diving super deep into randomization to do a great job with that. How do I get here? Like how the dungeons get longer and more complex? Yeah, they're just meant to be a little bite-sized, little meals. And I'm totally cool with that. I don't know how I ever got down here before. Well, the hero graves seem super long, and I'm concerned about that. They're definitely... the concern, I think, with the hero graves is that they just... the two that I went to are like, oh, if you fuck up, you were dead. And then there's no, like... no stakes. There's no midway points. And I think it's intentional. I think those are supposed to just be hard for the super hard, die-hard players who don't mind that kind of stuff. And I think if it is possible to jump over the freaking chariot thing, then they're probably very doable. The rest of the dungeons are solid, though. I don't know if I recognize what this is. What is this? Why are you here? Shouldn't you be in the... shouldn't you be in Ray Lucaria? Where is this going to be? Oh. Well, have I even been here? I don't think I've been here before. I would have taken this. I hope that was a reasonable answer regarding Bloodborne. Like, I think I could have a better experience with it, but like what I was able, like it's like saying like you gotta find there might have been a fine meal there, but somebody stomped it and put it in a blender, and then just like made you eat it off the street. You know, it's like I don't know. I can't quite tell if it was a good game. But I hated like what they did with it. There's some stuff that I think is pretty objective, like the way that damage scaling gets out of control, the way that blood vials are a terrible replacement for Estus. Stuff like the rally system is very difficult to leverage, and especially when it's running at a low frame rate, it's difficult to make controlled decisions to get back into combat after taking a big hit. To get your rally back. So it's like that sort of stuff is really difficult to work with, and it's not satisfying in the slightest. The idol. I wonder how, like, Elden Ring is typically very literal. Is this dude gonna be an AFK, or am I just gonna get in there and just backstab him and that's gonna be it? Oh, there you go. You're not idle at all. Get out of here. Crossbow, though. Let's go. Also, try this on for size. Oh, I can't even convert. I can't even transform into the moon. Because I get shot out of it. Okay, you need to stop that. That's ridiculous. This is like fighting, what was the name of the character that shows up with a crossbow and the Mirakumo in... Whoa, that's a one-shot. Give me, like, Bloodborne ranking among From's games? Bottom. Very bottom. Out of, I guess, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, Elden Ring, and Bloodborne, I would say it's at the bottom. Well, no, well, my crossbow never one-shot on a counter hit. This dude must be using whatever the equivalent of the Leo ring is. Damn, that poise. Alva. Or no. Right? No, not Alva. What was the name of that character? There we go. The one with the reddish armor. The one who attacks you all the way to Irithyll Dungeon. The one where you, like, between, I think, Alva, right? The thing that confuses me is that there's like three different. There's Ava, which is the tiger boss. There's Alva. There's Aldia. And there's like one more with a similar name that I can't remember. So, Talisman, Crepus's Vial. Crepus. You know what? This will be quicker. Crepus's Vial. Look kind of like an hourglass. Yeah. Eliminates all sound made by the wearer during movement. Please don't have a foot effect this time. A ritual implement used by Round Table Hold assassins. There was a time when Tarnished, who had strayed from guidance, feared nothing more than utter silence. Small mysterious bottle with dark mist sealed within. Please, oh please. Oh, I still got the horn charm on? Wow. Please don't have a foot effect. Please, please. Perfect, they finally fixed it. Now, if I actually did that stealth stuff, which wouldn't even be visible on my character, it doesn't have these two giant blue circles, depending on the game, sometimes white circles, moving around with their legs as you go. What do I want to use now? Oh, I could put the crest on again. That's fine. No, Alva didn't just wear the armor from Dark Souls 2. That was the character. That character existed in Dark Souls 2. Originated in Dark Souls 2. Just like 10 times stronger in Dark Souls 3. But, Rain, just once again to say, like, even though there's a lot of things that I think are completely objective, and a lot of other things that I think are mostly based on my experience, I can just go up here then. I never went in. Like, I was, like, based on the experience that I had, and regardless of whether or not it happened to be actually a good game or not, my experience with Bloodborne was absolute trash. There were so many things that I think were objective about it that I don't like. There were many other things. Like, I think what people tend to like about Bloodborne is more the, like, aesthetic and the theme, and not really the execution and the details. for me, like, the details are the gateway to the rest of it. And if the details don't work, then I really don't appreciate the rest of it. And some of those thematic and aesthetic things. What is this? It's the middle of a. Is this the middle of a swamp? Is that poison? There were things like, I hate how there's so much screeching. I hate how they have so many quadruped beast enemies that fuck with the camera. I don't like how they have so many spammy enemies that, like, the one of the things that I didn't like about Bloodborne was that there's a very high granularity of input, but a very low granularity of decision making. It's like you're mostly just following through with your previous decision, making input after input. That's poison. Yep, that's definitely poison. And I didn't like how you had fewer moment-to-moment decisions to make in any combat scenario relative to, even, Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3. If, Rain, if you were looking for a more nuanced, granular breakdown of what I like or don't like, or how I would organize each of the games, it would basically be radar charts. It would be things like, which game do I think has the best defense formula? Which game do I think has the best PvE? Which game do I think has, certain story aspects executed better or worse than the other? Which game has the most interesting individual level design elements in a given area, or most viable PvP builds or PvE builds. So far, yeah, I think Bloodborne, or not Bloodborne, Bloodborne I think has probably my least favorite presentation for the lore. I think Elden Ring has my favorite so far. I think basically regarding how the lore is set up and how it's presented to the player and like how much the lore appeals to me, it's probably going to be Elden Ring. It's hard to say. It's like Elden Ring, probably Dark Souls 2, Sekiro, or no, Elden Ring, somewhere between probably Demon Souls, I keep forgetting to mention that, Dark Souls 2, Sekiro, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3. Oh, that's funny. It's like, this is the divide right here. This is your entry into the castle. And then, oh, don't kill me. Why am I fat rolling? Oh, it's this. I would put Bloodborne at the bottom, and Dark Souls 1 might end up being one up from that.